Hello and welcome to the Procrastinarium. My name is Jan and today we're going to be playing Europa Universalis 4. Now this is going to be a prologue episode where I tell you why I chose the country I chose, and we look at the beginning stats of the country before we actually impose, and then in episode 1 we will impose and get the game rolling. Now, when I'm picking countries to play in Europa Universalis 4, I try to either go for countries that I find really interesting or for countries that are close to where I live. So I was going, well, for this let's play, let's do something too close to where I live, which with 1.2 patch, Serbia and Ragusa, they got their own national ID. It's different from anyone else's, which is great, except for the fact that they border the Ottoman Empire. But I thought, well, I'm not gonna let the Ottomans end this let's play, so I'm going to do a few test games and see if I can survive as Serbia. So I did. I went in as Serbia because I just found they're bigger, they have 4 provinces, and Ragusa only has 1. Right, Serbia, let's play testing. So I tested and I conquered Bosnia rather quickly and usually annexed Ragusa, and then peace was out for a bit because I had so much aggressive expansion, and at one point the Ottomans would always come in and take over. And they did this in 4 test games. No matter what kind of an alliance I had alliances with France and the Polo-Lithuanian Union and Austria. Nope. The Ottomans just went, you know what, we don't like you, you are mine now. So I said, I can't do that in Let's Play, I can't let the Ottomans steamroll me every single time. So I went and looked for a different country. And then I looked at a few of the German states and I thought, I don't want to be landlocked, because naval power is important and it helps with trade, and it's easier to showcase trade if you have some naval access. So I found a country that I like. It's Pomerania. It borders the Baltic Sea. It has some neighbors. It has Mecklenburg as a neighbor who is of the same culture group, and they will most likely be our vassal rather soon in a diplomatic way. Brandenburg, which is our eternal rival. The Teutons, which are a surprisingly rich nation, and we will try to get some of those riches, mostly being located near the coast. Danzig, I think, has a base tax of 11 or 12. We are also bordered by Poland, who hopefully we can get into an alliance with, because as I said, they usually get a big, powerful union with Lithuania and become an unstoppable force, much like Austria is, or France, and even Burgundy at the beginning of the game. And of course Denmark, it has a personal union with Norway and Sweden, and Holstein is a vassal, and I think Poland's vassals are Mazovia and Moldavia. Which Denmark technically does border us, but won't really be an issue. At least not at the beginning of the game. Might get some border friction once we expand more towards the west and we start actually bordering them on land. Otherwise, they do tend to like us at the beginning of the game. So, why don't we get into the game and actually see what the stats are like for Pomerania. Now, Pomerania starts out with 3 provinces. It starts out with a small navy. Well, it's not really that small of a navy. It starts out with quite a navy, one of the not really powerful navies, because we do have the Danes, which have a gigantic navy, and a few others do actually have quite a navy as well, but we do have a small military might, which is currently lower than Brandenburg, which is an issue, but we'll hopefully get an alliance before they manage to attack us. We are a feudal monarchy, which gives us plus the national manpower modifier and minus 10 plus 10 income from vassals. Our main culture and only culture group currently is Pomeranian, which will change if we go after the Teutons, because they are Prussian mostly, except for Kelmno, which is Polish, and Neumark is Saxon, but the rest is Prussian. And we might consider going after them. The provinces are quite rich. 3, 4, 8, 6, and Danzig 12. So Danzig will be really, really important for us. If we can get that, it will bring in a lot of money that we can then use to be a powerhouse. Now wait, our king isn't too good. He isn't the worst king out there, but he's quite close to the bottom. He's a 2-2-3, and our heir isn't too good either. He's a 2-1-3, so we're going to try and get some good marriage is going. Hopefully. We can survive. We do have a country modifier. We get the imperial integrity because we are a member of the Holy Roman Empire. Our national revolt risk is reduced by 3. Our stability cost modifier goes down by 10% and technology cost goes down by 10%. We don't have any advisors. We can't really afford them, which we will see in the economy window in a minute. We do... diplomacy is pretty much standard. We have 4 available diplomatic relations, which we will use up 2 immediately, because as right now I'm just going to offer an alliance to Mecklenburg, which, as I said, is Prussian, and we would like to vassal, so we can annex. And Poland surprisingly doesn't want an alliance. Huh. Usually they start out as your buddy, as friendly, like Mecklenburg is, but not today. Let's see. Will they marry me? They would marry me though. Oh, we're going to marry them and then ally them. Which will work just as fine. Having Poland on our side will be a really strong thing, especially because Brandenburg usually allies with Austria, and a Polo-Lithuanian alliance can hammer down on Austria. And we can pretty much take care of Brandenburg all around. It isn't really an issue. What else? Our economy, we do have an income currently, but we will increase our army size immediately if we want to survive. So our income will be pretty much 0 by the time our new units are built. But we do need the new units. We need the new units because otherwise we can get crushed way too easily. As for trade, trade represents 27.8% of our income. We trade in the Lübeck trade node, which is the important trade node for us. It's also probably the most valuable trade node we can access. We do have a merchant in Frankfurt forwarding trade into Lübeck, which is a standard practice, and we're just going to leave him there because currently almost 1 ducat is being transferred into Lübeck, which is good. And while we don't have much power in Lübeck, what do we have? 9% of the trade power. We do get a little bit of money out of it, 0.75, which is good, and that will increase after we get some bikes going and conquer more land in the Lübeck trade node, which is good. We do have to try to retain as much because we don't want it to go into Antwerp, because we don't want the Dutch to get rich, because if they're rich they can hire mercenaries, and mercenaries are bad for us when we go to war with them. Technology, we are in the Western we are in the Western technology group, as is the rest of Europe. Western Europe. Poland isn't. I don't think Hungary is. Neither are Bosnia and Serbia. The Teutons are though, and yeah, the Livonian Order is as well. It's very interesting. Riga is as well. That is strange. It is very, very bizarre. I thought it would kind of end, because this is technically Eastern Europe. Sweden I can get, but not these 3. We are not lagging behind in technology. Currently we probably will, because our king isn't too good and we don't get many points. As for our idea groups, we got German ideas, which immediately gives us plus 10 tax and minus 10% mercenary cost, which is really good. And once we unlock all of them, we get minus 5 tech cost, which could be better. We can get those discounts with the national ideas, the unlockable ones. The German ideas, they start, there are 7 of them, like with any other. The first one is Zunft, which guild specific to every sort of crafter founded to ensure the quality of products and to train young artisans, which gives us plus 10% production efficiency, which again ties into trade, means money. The Frühlings- and Herbstmesse, which some cities are giving the special right to open fairs in every spring and autumn. These seasonal markets are quite attractive for foreign traders, plus 10 domestic trade power and plus 5 national trade income modifier, which is also good. Again, trade, it will be important, although at the beginning we'll just try to gain a bit more land to ensure our survival, and then we'll focus on trade. The third one is Reichskreis. German territories are grouped into regional circles. Their functions are keeping local peace with common forces, collecting the imperial taxes, and coordinating opinions for the imperial diet and the imperial chamber court. And diplomatic reputation, it gives us plus 2. The fourth one is Polizeiordnung, where German lords and cities enact laws concerning the daily life and their folks to secure the local peace and public morality. National revolt expanded one. It basically established the police. The Cuius Regio eius Religio, both Catholic and Protestant German lords have an exclusive right to control religious matters in their domain according to principle whose realm is religion. It gives us +1 missionary strength, which will be useful as we conquer, if we conquer east, because they usually are not Christian. Thurn and Taxis, the House of Thurn and Taxis pioneered the German Postal Service, a complex network of the communications which covers various European regions and all of Germany. Gives us +1 diplomatic relations, which could be good. I wish we got more. This gives us reputation, which reputation does help with annexing people, but relation just means we can have more relations, and we can only have 4, which could be an issue. And the last one is Residentenstadt, which German dukes make their residences in cities and govern the land from there. In this way, the cities become not only administrative and economic centers, but also many cultural buildings are constructed by their monarchs, which gives us a yearly prestige plus of 0.5, which is good. Prestige is good. We are currently losing a little bit of prestige because we are low on prestige. The higher we are on the higher prestige level we have, the more prestige we will lose per month, or I think it's per year. Yeah, per year, which can be bad. And then with the modifiers, you can actually get into profit, which is good. We have missions and decisions. Our 3 current missions. These missions change. Prove our prestige, form alliance with Mecklenburg and We're going to immediately tick the formal alliance with Mecklenburg because we already sent a diplomat to form an alliance. We do have national decisions. We have 2 main ones, which is form the German nation and reform into Prussia. Reforming the German nation, we do need admin tech 10. We need to be at peace. We shouldn't be a subject nation. We need Mecklenburg, Brandenburg, Altmark, Lüneburg, Brunswick, Anhalt, Saxony, Leipzig, Thuringen, and Nuremberg, which basically means we need to control kind of this area to form the German nation. We can also just reform into Prussia, which we need to own Osterburgussen, Warmia, and Danzig, which we can get from the Teutons if Poland doesn't decide that this should just be theirs, which could be a problem. So we're going to try to move on to Danzig as quickly as possible. We also have then the standard national decisions which come in more or less every country. We have standard stability, we have standard war exhaustion. Ah, yes, colonies. Now, we are not well situated for colonizing, which we can help. If we ever get enough income, we can go to Portugal and ask them for fleet basing rights, which might be a smart idea. Eventually, when more of the world is discovered, but currently we're going to focus on our local affairs, and then we'll try to get a colony up somewhere, or maybe if we go to war with all of the colonizing powers, we'll take something. But as beginning of the game, we're not going to focus on colonizing too much, rather going to focus on other things, other more, well, not necessarily more exciting things, but things that suit our country better. As for religion, we are Catholic, we have the standard tolerance policies. There is currently no reform desired for the Catholic Church. Now, this is a global thing to every Catholic nation, and events. For example, if Poland got the worship of Virgin Mary event and told us that she is just a woman, I think we would get +1 here, which would affect it. It's the global reform desired, so every country's events affected, which means reformation happens always. We do have a little bit of papal influence. We do get a bit per year. Our trade land with cardinals. Actually, controlling the courier is actually good, even if you don't go on crusades, because besides being able to excommunicate people and call for a crusade, you can also break all marriages without a stability hit. You also get stability is cheaper. You get +1 diplomat. Yearly prestige goes up by 0.25. You get +2 possible advisors. Yearly papal influence goes up by 2, and you get another free leader without upkeep, which we'll talk in a moment about. So here is our military screen. We currently have 5 units, which you can see here. We have 9 navy. We have 1 bark, 4 galleys, and 4 cogs, which the bark we can immediately send to protect trade in Rubeck. It won't really do anything else. We only have 1. I'm still deciding if we should keep the galleys and cogs, or if we should remove them. I'm not sure. It might be good to have some sort of a naval power, but with the neighbors that we have, that might be a problem because we're not as strong as they are. We do have 4 infantry units and 1 cavalry unit. We will change that. Actually, we're going to change it immediately because we're going to buy another infantry and another cavalry unit to get us to the force limit, which will mean that our income will be basically 0. But as I said, Teutons. We're going to focus on the Teutons in this game, at least the first episode. When we unpause the game, we're going to try to get Acclaim, Fabrication, and Dancing, and trying to get Dancing under our control, because that will be important for us. Because it's a plus 12 tax. I mean, it's a lot of money. We don't have any leaders currently. Now, I said you get 1 free leader without upkeep. Now, we can only have 1. If we have 2, we will lose 1 military point per month because of it. So, if we have 2 over the limit, we will lose 2, and so on and so forth. So, we are going to currently not buy anything, not get a military leader. The only reason we won't get a military leader unless we actually go to war is because we need to save our military power, because our king isn't too good and we don't get enough of it if we want to keep up. So, if we go to war, then we will get a military leader. Otherwise, I don't think it's a smart idea at the moment. Now, we also have the standard things that most nations do. Intellect plus 0.5, discipline 100, defensiveness plus 0. Currently. Now, this is affected by prestige. The higher the prestige, the more defensiveness we have. Discipline isn't. Neither are military tactics, but they just improve with technology and some modifiers as well, I think. And that is basically it for the beginning of Prussia now. We did offer an alliance to Mecklenburg and a royal marriage to Poland, which should give us into good standing with Poland for an alliance, and then we're going to declare the Teutons, or we could declare the Teutons as our rival, but I wouldn't just yet. Maybe next turn, when we actually unpause the game to actually see if anyone else makes us their rival, which could be an issue. We should definitely try keeping Poland as an ally, which, because they're not in the HRE, if we vassalize these and diplo-annex them, they won't get upset. And because we're probably going to move west before moving east, they shouldn't be as upset about our aggressive expansion, which is good, which the rest of the countries will. But they're also good ally because Brandenburg allies with Austria almost every time I play this game, which is an issue because Brandenburg likes to go to war with Pomerania, which I don't like. We want to survive in. I think we will survive now. I think we're up to a good start. We do have a free missionary, which we can't use because we're perfectly Catholic. We are part of the Holy Roman Empire, which is standard. I'm not really going to try being the emperor. At least not actively trying to be the emperor. If anyone wants to vote me, they can. But won't try to be the emperor because I don't quite understand the mechanic and how it works, and there's too many wars to get into. And yeah. But controlling the Curia, yes, that we will actively participate in. And that is basically it for the first episode. So this is going to be labeled episode 0. The next episode is going to be labeled episode 1, when we actually go and unpause the game. We are going to be playing on speed 3 most of the game, unless we get into a really boring spell, in which case I will speed up time. And that is it. That is it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed the prologue episode. I hope you continue watching. I hope I'm being at least moderately interesting. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and if you're not yet subscribed, subscribe. Comments do help, because that's how YouTube ranks things. So don't forget to comment in one way or another. And if you have any sort of suggestions on either what games I should play or how I should proceed in this Let's Play, do keep the comments coming. I will read them. I might not always go the way you want me to, because I think something else is more interesting, but I will definitely put things into consideration. So yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and until next time,